For the past few years, investors around the world have been asking a really important question, and that is, why is Buffett sitting on such an enormous cash pile? So at a recent Berkshire Hathaway meeting, Buffett finally addressed it directly in a meeting with Becky Quick for about 30 minutes over a lunch break. And he explained why Berkshire is holding more than $380 billion in cash and how he views the stock market right now, and also whether he thinks investors should be worried about a crash ahead. So you guys, in this video, what I want to do is walk through what I think are the most important clips from that interview, and I'll let you hear Buffett's comments in the full context. And then I want to break down what I think we really should be taking away from it. So here we go.
Just looking at the macro stock market environment, what does this feel like to you? Does it feel expensive? Does it feel like there are opportunities in some places?
Well, it feels like, I've compared the markets to a church with a casino attached. People can move between the church and casino, and I would say there are more people in the church and more people in the casino. But the casino's gotten very attractive to people. If you're buying one-day options or selling them, that's not investing, it's not speculating, it's gambling, just totally. There's nobody that can explain why they're buying an option for one day. And the quantity of those things is just incredible. So we've never had people in a more gambling mood than now. But that doesn't mean that investing is terrible. It does mean that prices for an awful lot of things will look very silly.
Okay, so I think bottom line what he's saying there is that the market has become so consistently moving up that people are willing to gamble that it will always move up. And that gambling is going on in the form of options and so on. But bottom line, there are going to be some good investments in the market some of the time, but in general, this whole market has become massively overpriced. I mean, that's the bottom line what he's saying.
There's a lot of cash on hand, and you're still active in managing the portfolio too and looking at stocks. You're looking around and you don't see a lot that you want to invest in.
Oh, well, then we don't do anything. I think it was Tom Watson Sr. of IBM. They asked him the reason why IBM had been so successful or something like that. And he said, I'm smart at spots and I stay around those spots. And that's the whole thing. Of the 60 years I've been in the business, there's probably 5 of them have been really juicy, and it isn't our ideal surrounding area or environment, I should say, in terms of deploying cash for Berkshire. But we can pick our spots, and nobody can tell us what to do exactly, and so sometimes we're doing nothing. But other times we get quite active.
Okay, super important, I think, and that is that there's only been a very small number of years where you could really buy anything in the market. That's what Buffett means when he's saying it's juicy. That's in 60 or 70 years. There's been 5 years. So we can't count on the market just handing us anything and it'll go up in the future. We have to pick our spots. And by that, we focus on the things that we really understand. And when we focus on the things we really understand, then we are going to have to wait in cash, sometimes for quite some period of time, and let the market do whatever it does. Let people gamble, let it run up. But meanwhile, we're waiting patiently to have an opportunity to buy those things that we really do understand when they finally go on sale. And you just have to do nothing a lot of the time when you're sitting waiting for those opportunities. And that's just part of the investing practice. That's part of the discipline that you got to have. Charlie Munger once said, we're very passive aggressive investors. And he also said, we make our money when we wait. Charlie was talking about was exactly this. There's a time when you should be putting money into the market, but it's very specific to the things you understand the value of. And meanwhile, you just have to wait.
What is it when you look around that it's just prices are too high at this point? I would imagine Greg said this from the stage too, there are businesses that you like, just not these prices.
And I would say I understand fewer of the businesses as a percentage of the whole than I did 10 years ago. I have not learned new industries for some years. And so I don't kid myself on that. I'm not going to learn them. I'm not going to have an edge on a whole bunch of younger people that have actually grown up with them, used the product. But as I mentioned, you don't have to understand too many of them. They're like Apple.
Okay, really key little piece that he's stuck in there, and that is that he's not picking up on new industries the way younger people could, which means people like you guys, because he doesn't have enough information to have an edge. And oh man, that little word in there, having an edge, means that in a specific industry, Buffett could understand that industry in a way that Wall Street doesn't understand it, that he has an actual edge. And most of the time, what he means by that is that he has gone deeply enough into the industry to understand it well, and it means that he can understand that a problem that is putting that company on sale is going to get fixed. Whereas Wall Street sees the problem, and if it's a problem that's going to last more than a year or so, they're out, and they're going to stay out till the problem is fixed someday in the future. They're just going to stay out. Whereas Buffett and we can buy in when we understand the business well enough to have an edge that says, yeah, Wall Street's getting out because they don't care about the long-term picture, really. It isn't important to them, but it is important to us. And if we know that 2 or 3 years down the road, this is going to get fixed, that's our edge. And that's all we need to have, is just that edge to know this problem will be fixed, the event will be over, and this company will recover back to its intrinsic value. And when that happens, we're going to double our money because we're buying it at half off. So that little thing, that little edge, pretty important to have that edge that says, I understand this business and this thing is going to get fixed in a time frame that Wall Street just isn't working within.
You laid it out yourself. In the 60 years you've been doing this in the business, you've had maybe 5 juicy years. I guess that means you're always looking for the next juicy year. What do you think it would take to make a juicy year or a juicy opportunity for you?
It's a phone call. And in some cases, we bought a business last year. It wasn't big enough to be meaningful, but we got a letter.
But the best opportunities have probably come when the macro environment leads to panic.
Most likely.
Right.
Well, the most likely time to buy things is when nobody else will answer their phones.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is, do you see the circumstances building up anywhere that could lead to a time like that again? Is any sort of panic in the market?
Sure.
Where do you see them?
Well, if you saw them, they wouldn't happen. You don't worry about what people are talking about can happen. It's something that comes out of the blue. But something will come out of the blue. A nuclear bomb can come out of the blue. It was the Archduke getting shot, in 1914 or something like that for World War I. And it's just take everything in life. And if it's something people are talking about and thinking about, it's not going to happen. But there are things that can happen out of the blue.
So what Warren means when he says when people are talking about it, that's not the thing that's going to create a juicy market. And that's because when people are talking about it, Wall Street has already factored that into the short-term view of the price of these companies. When he's saying you're going to get a juicy market when the thing comes out of the blue, it means that there's going to be something that happens we just didn't expect. And that is always the case. Number one. And number two, it is going to happen. There's no question about it. Something's going to come out of the blue. It's just a question of when. Now, if you think about it, there's been 5 times in 60 or 70 years where this thing came out of the blue to such an extent that it created a super underpriced market. You could buy anything. That's not very often, right? That's like once every 10 or 12 years. And so I think what Warren's saying is that given the fact that there has been nothing since COVID that's been out of the blue for quite some time, that's going to happen again. And maybe it'll happen again in 2 or 3 years. He doesn't know. All I know is they're keeping a lot of cash on hand right here. And that's essentially all we can do is keep a lot of cash on hand until that thing, whatever it is, that puts our companies on sale happens. And if it's something that comes out of the blue for the entire world, well, okay, that'll put everything on sale. And if it's just something that comes out of the blue for, let's say, the SaaS companies, the software as a service companies, it comes out of the blue that AI came out there and looks like it's destroying all their businesses, maybe something goes on sale there. So all you can do, really, is just be prepared. Be ready to purchase that company when it's on sale, knowing what the value is, and then wait patiently. And maybe something will come out of the blue that makes everything juicy, or maybe it's just something that makes that business juicy. And that's kind of what Warren was saying. Yeah, it's juicy enough when we get a phone call when nobody else wants to buy this thing. Then, okay, then we can step in and buy it, even if the rest of the market's overpriced.
We don't know what can happen tomorrow. I don't like to talk that way to people, whether it's you or anybody else. Because whether it does you a lot of good to worry about that, I don't think it does do any good to worry about it. I think it's good to be cognizant of it, but the worrying about it is terrible. I don't like to cause that belief with people. I don't like to go around tell them the end is coming, or something like that.
I think that's Warren saying the end is coming but I'm not going to be the guy that tells you it because I don't like to make people upset or concerned. And this goes all the way back to his early days as an investor when he bought a company near Omaha that he disassembled and sold off the pieces, and he came under fire from the locals who lost their jobs, and he never did that again. And he doesn't like to be the guy that delivers negative news. But I think he's basically saying, we have $380 billion in cash. Maybe you should have a clue that we do think the end is coming. We don't know when exactly, but we're certainly not going to be buying into a bunch of stuff that's priced for perfection or even above perfection. And that's just not the way we invest. That's not the way I invest. It's not the way you should invest. If you really want to have security for your retirement future, you can't be betting on things that just like the market's just going to go up forever. The market has had many times when it's gone sideways or nowhere for 15, 20 years. And if that would impact your retirement, then you don't want to be investing like that. You want to do this the way Buffett does it, the way I do it, and you should learn how to do it. And with that said, before I sign off, I just want to say, you guys, that if you're kind of serious about doing this kind of stuff, investing the way I do, the way Warren Buffett does, and you want to adopt that same kind of philosophy, but actually apply it in the markets, our next 3-day workshop's coming up. We teach 3 days entirely online. We cover not only the full Warren Buffett strategy, including how to value a business, but we also teach how to value investors' use of options, how to use options in a way that gives you very low risk, kind of like being the house, and get even more out of your investing. And we've taught this workshop to over 30,000 people now. And the reviews we get are always so fantastic. So if you're interested in joining one of our upcoming workshops, you want to go to something where the NPS score is really, really high, higher than Harvard, then just click on the link below or in the pinned comment. And I hope to see you down there, you guys. So thanks for watching, and now go play.